What's up, y'all? It's Coleman Jr. 88, your independent source for wrestling, NASCAR, and music news. To say that this review was crazy, insane, and too soon in some cases in certain matches, I wish that certain matches would have gone on later, is an understatement. We also had a shocking development in the Aces and Eights storyline as to, I don't know if this person is the leader or not, but shocking is the understatement of the year. I was definitely dumbfounded. I thought he was dealing with contract issues up in the front office at there in Tennessee, but obviously not anymore. And we had two shocking appearances. Well, yeah, you could say one is an uncontracted wrestler, and the second, one is an uncontracted wrestler that I thought was going to WWE, and the second one was having contract issues back in Tennessee. That's why he dropped the television championship. At least that's what I thought until tonight. Obviously, my thinking is completely wrong on that particular issue. And I will explain more as this goes on. This is your Bound for Glory 2012 pay-per-view review. Once again, I am Coolman Jr. 88. And here we go. At the top of the show, we had X Division title match versus RVD versus Zema Ion. RVD is your new X Division title holder after a surprising announcement on the week previous to Bound for Glory. After a surprising ad to the card, Zema Ion is defeated by RVD. RVD is your new X Division title holder. Second segment, you see JB in the back interviewing Magnus, and he talks about Joe, how he should be afraid, how this loss is going to impact his career. Everybody's talking about how when Joe defeats Magnus, Magnus flipped the question around and said that how Magnus was going to defeat Joe, how that was going to impact his career, Joe's career. And then we went on to segment number 3. We had the second of 4 title matches very early on in the pay-per-view, folks. TV title, Magnus versus Joe. Magnus went in as, Magnus went in as the challenger. He was trying to win it off Joe, but Joe defended his belt and Joe retained his belt. Samoa Joe defeats Magnus. Congratulations to Samoa Joe. Very good match, very good quality match. As Joe puts on every single time he's in a ring, almost every single time. Anyway, but he's a very good wrestler. Congratulations to Samoa Joe. Segment number 4 was JB interviews Bobby Roode on James Storm. Bobby Roode was, of course, begging on, like, just trashing James Storm, of course, as he should, as he's a heel. But, you know, all the usual taglines, I'm gonna beat you, all this and all that. So, of course, we had Pride Fighter King Mo as the special enforcer for this match. The King Mo did not play as big of a role in this match as I thought he would. I mean, he did play a role, but not as big as I thought he would. So, segment number 5 was the Rude versus Storm street fight. Again, bloody match, extremely bloody match, because early on, James Storm was either hit with a chair or a kendo stick or something, and it split him wide open on the directly on the forehead. And throughout majority of the match, you could not tell the features on James Storm's face at all. I was surprised that it bled as much as it did, but it reminded me of, oddly enough, the street fight between JBL versus John Cena, when John Cena was still his Thugonomics character back at, I want to say New Year's Resolution 2003, I believe. I'm not too sure on the date on that, or the pay-per-view, but I know it was a street fight between JBL and John Cena. One of JBL's last matches, I believe it was JBL's last match, where JBL just went up and quit before John Cena could make him quit. But anyway, extremely bloody match. James Storm wide open early on in the match. Fought all over the place. You saw thumbtacks. You saw kendo sticks. You saw chairs. You saw trash cans. You saw trash can lids. The normal trash cans, the aluminum ones that crush under people's weight, but yeah, that's what you saw. James Storm gets his revenge over Bobby Roode. In a very bloody way. The thumbtacks were brought out by Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode just was going for a suplex beforehand. Then he dropped down, got the thumbtacks from underneath the ring, spread the thumbtacks out where he wanted to land James Storm, but James Storm reversed on Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode got most of the thumbtacks in his back and in his boot. Ironically enough, the thumbtacks, majority of them, landed in his back and in his buttocks. So, yeah, very painful night for Bobby Roode. Although James Storm did not go unscathed, he got most of the majority of the thumbtacks that were left in his elbow from an elbow drop after Bobby Roode landed. But Bobby Roode got the majority of the thumbtacks, though. So yeah, James Storm is your winner. You got revenge on Bobby Roode. Segment number 6. JB interviews Joey Ryan on Al Snow. Joey Ryan, this match I thought was going to be on sooner than it was. Complete card reversal in certain matches, like I stated in the beginning of this video. I thought the TV title was going to be later, and the match like James Storm versus Bobby Roode is going to be I thought James Storm, Bobby Roode was going to be later, and then matches like Joey Ryan versus Al Snow was going to be sooner than it was. But yeah, moving on, we move on to the actual match, Joey Ryan versus Al Snow. Surprisingly enough, this was where Al Snow just put on a clinic. Joey Ryan hit some good spots, but majority of the match was Al Snow putting on a clinic. He didn't really go out and wrestle. He just put on like a teacher-student kind of deal, where you should have thought about this before you signed a one-night contract. There was a flip side though. Late in the match, we saw Matt Morgan, the Blueprint Matt Morgan, show up and just absolutely decimate Al Snow. I should give you the premise of the match. The premise of the match was if Joey Ryan won the match versus Al Snow, he got a permanent slot on the Impact roster, permanent contract, and if Al Snow won, Joey Ryan was locked out of the Impact zone for good. And then at the end of this match, we saw Head make an appearance. Al Snow's head make an appearance. Joey Ryan kissing Head. Al Snow kissing Head. I don't know why, but Al Snow kissing Head. And then we saw the Blueprint Matt Morgan just absolutely carbon footprint Al Snow's face and giving Joey Ryan the win. Joey Ryan tentatively shaking the Blueprint's hand and then walking away. And as Taz and Professor are talking, making commentary, you hear Matt Morgan say, "You want to screw me, TNA? Your whole entire roster is gonna go down. The timer is up." So I do not know what Matt Morgan was gonna do. He is going to do. I thought he was in talks with Connecticut. Connecticut being WWE territory. I thought he was in talks with them, but obviously not. If he's making appearances back in TNA, then I don't know what the deal is. I read a tweet on Matt Morgan's Twitter page saying that he would never make an appearance on responding to a fan saying that he would never make an appearance on TNA TV ever again, and yet here he is on the biggest pay-per-view of the year for TNA, making an appearance, helping Joey Ryan get a permanent slot on the Impact roster. So, yeah, explain that one to me, Matt Morgan. Segment number 8, JB interviews Kaz and Daniels about the triple threat, Kurt, AJ. We had Hernandez and Chavo versus Kaz and Daniels. And of course, Kaz and Daniels, Daniels mainly, was trashing both teams, and he was saying how easy it was going to be and all this and all that. So, yeah. I don't know how easy it's going to be, but he was saying how easy it was going to be. And then we're going to be drinking the apple martini he was drinking early on in the match, was said Daniels. Then we move on to the match. But, yeah, the interview was basically the same thing as always. Then we move on to the match, segment number 9. Three-way match between AJ Styles, Kurt Angle versus Kaz and Daniels versus Chavo Guerrero and Supermax Hernandez. Good quality match from all three teams. AJ Styles hitting his spots, Kurt Angle hitting his spots, a couple good suplexes from Kurt Angle, a couple good suplexes from Chavo Guerrero, Supermax doing his thing, and then we saw the Three Amigos from Chavo Guerrero, which eventually earned Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez the win. And Chavo Guerrero, after the match, dedicated the win to his Uncle Eddie, and which was fitting. So congratulations to Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero for their first, Chavo's first title in TNA. I'm hoping that this leads to a good quality title run for both of them, because I know Chavo Guerrero can really work in a tag team position, and I'm really hoping the best for the both of them, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, segment number 10, we had interview, JD interview, Christy Hemme interview the new champions, Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero, where Chavo Guerrero, like I said before, dedicates the match to his Uncle Eddie, and his other uncle, Hector, was there commentating. So the whole entire Guerrero family was there, in spirit and in physical form, with Hector Guerrero commentating his nephew. So yeah. Segment number 11, we had the Knockouts title match. Tara versus Tessmacher. Good quality, once again, good quality match with the Knockouts. We had an actual match this time, unlike the Divas in WWE. Tara won back the title from Tessmacher. So it went from Tara to Tessmacher, then back to Tara from Tessmacher. So, and then Tara's boyfriend was revealed to be that Big Brother guy, or the Jersey Shore guy. I don't know what his name is, but some jackass reality star who thinks he's bigger than he is. But yeah, that was Tara's boyfriend, and it was stupid. At least that part of it. The match wasn't stupid, but the after part of it was stupid. Yeah. After the Knockouts match, we had segment number 12, memories from the Hall of Fame ceremony. Of course, Sting being the very first inductee. We didn't have any other inductees. We just had Sting. And we just had memories, flashes. We didn't actually see the induction ceremony, but we did see memories and flashes. So that's what segment number 12 was all about. Segment number 13 was one of the main events. Aces and Eights versus Sting and Bully Ray. And this is the second shocking moment of the night. I'm guessing more shocking than Matt Morgan, because we saw Matt Morgan on the live events interfering, but we never expected to see this. The match is going pretty good. They bring out Joseph Park. They handcuff him to the railing on the outside of the ring, where the fans are, and the match is going pretty good. Aces and Eights this is a no disqualification, so every time the referee's back is turned, the Aces and Eights bring in a new guy, I guess, and then miraculously, midpoint of the match, we see Abyss and Joseph Park, and A third guy comes out from Aces and Eights with the blonde hair, and Joseph Park rips the handcuff off the railing and goes after the blonde guy. After the blonde guy spits in Joseph Park's face. So yeah, there we go. We see Abyss at Bound for Glory. Of course, Joseph Park being Abyss, of course we would see him. Just glimpses of him, of course, but nonetheless we saw him. Aces and Eights unfortunately win this match due to nefarious means. They just had more guys than the guys in the back were willing to come out, and there was a point where we almost had the win. We had we had Sting in a clutch position with one of the Aces and Eights guys, where we heard the fans go, "Rip off the mask, rip off the mask." So we ripped off the mask, and who was it? Devon. Nobody else but Devon. And the whole entire crowd fell silent. I was watching with my mouth open, and literally, ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the most shocking turn of events in the Aces and Eights storyline. I thought he was in, like I said in the beginning of the video, I thought Devon was in Tennessee dealing with contract issues. I had no idea that they would work it out to the point where he's in the Aces and Eights storyline, but obviously he now is in the Aces and Eights storyline. That begs the question, who else, if Devon, who was on the Impact roster as one of the good guys, is in Aces and Eights, who else is in Aces and Eights? Is it Chaz and Daniels? Is it I don't know, Matt Morgan? We don't know, but it was definitely shocking, especially the Bully Ray. You could actually see the shock on his face. We had no clue. It was kind of cool because we saw Sting wear Bully's shirt and Bully Ray's face painted as Sting, early Sting that is. But we don't know what's going on now that we know that Devon is either a member of Aces and Eights or the leader of Aces and Eights. We have no idea now. Devon was screaming at the top of his lungs, "Now you know how it feels. I'm going to rip this company apart," at the top of his lungs, as the shocked crowd watched Devon and the rest of the Aces and Eights, still masked, walk back out of the arena, and this grants Aces and Eights full access to TNA Impact now. We will, on a regular basis, see Aces and Eights. So from now on. So what will Devon's role be? Is he the leader? Is he not? Will we see the rest of the reveal of the rest of the gang? What will happen? We don't know. So yeah. We move on from segment 13. We go on to segment number 14, and excuse me while I change while I turn the page here. Here we go. Segment number 14. A-Double is interviewed by JB, talking about how he needs to win this match, how he's selfish, how the company expects him to say this, and I want to say that, and as you all saw, or those of you who watched Impact, saw that A-Double basically threw out the script of what he was supposed to say in the ring. He took out the sheet, he ripped it up, and said what he wanted to say, and he turns out he is jealous of Jeff Hardy, and basically it carried on from last week to tonight. So he is jealous of Jeff Hardy, and he wants what Jeff Hardy's got. So basically, that's what his promo was before the match. We move on to segment number 15, Jeff Hardy versus A-Double for the World Heavyweight Championship, TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Surprisingly enough, this match was pretty good. A Double hitting his spots, Jeff Hardy hitting his spots. A Double, of course, being the heel now, trying to get nefarious ways of doing things, and Jeff Hardy prevails with 2 attempts at the Swanton Bomb. The third finally hits, and the first 2 Swanton Bombs miss. The second one hits completely on Austin Aries, blocks the second one completely on his knees. The third one hits, Jeff Hardy wins, and now this begs the question. The ruling from Hulk Hogan way back was that Bobby Roode could not get a title shot while Austin Aries was the champion. Now that Jeff Hardy is the champion, does this catapult Bobby Roode in the title picture now? Once again, does Bobby Roode go after Jeff Hardy now? Now that the deal is done, deal is over, Austin Aries is no longer champion, so I guess this is open season for Bobby Roode. What does Aces and Eights have up his sleeve for next week? We have no idea. 2 weeks away from the biggest video game release in PS3 history, Ubisoft's history, that being Assassin's Creed 3 for the holidays 2012. What will happen next week on Impact, we have no idea, but I'm hoping you guys had a cool review experience from me, Coolman Jr. 88, and I'm hoping you guys saw the pay-per-view. Those of you who decided to see the pay-per-view know what I'm talking about when I did this review. Those of you who did not and still enjoyed the pay-per-view, let me know below, or let me know over here in my inbox, or just lend me your thoughts down below if you want to do so. Thank you guys for watching. I know that I did a Raw highlights / Amazon.com video. I urge you guys to watch that as well, as I picked up some very cool things from Amazon.com. If you want to know more, watch that video, which is the previous one now that this one's going up, and will be the feature video for quite some time until next week on Impact, as I am not reviewing Raw much anymore due to the crap. The only exciting thing that happened on Raw this past week was Vince McMahon's segments, and there was only 2 of them, and they weren't very exciting either. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This has been your Bound for Glory 2012 TNA pay-per-view review. Thank you guys. Peace out. Deuces. I love you. Subscribe and inbox me or comment below, please. Thank you. Peace out, guys.